So, well, let's talk about the album. It's called Universe in Reverse. It's your second album.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say about second albums. Is it true in your case? Was it difficult?
No, a lot of people have said like the difficult second album thing, but I think for us, we didn't suffer any kind of like writer's block or anything. But I think that's probably down to the fact that we didn't really put any pressure on ourselves at that stage. We let it be quite a free and open-ended process, and the ideas kind of like span around. Then we kind of like got the rough sort of square plan together, and then the album sort of was quite. In many ways, it was easier than the first album to write, because on the first album we had like 10 tracks, and they were the only kind of 10 tracks we had. And so, like, they had to be on the album, and it wasn't an option of like, oh, let's move them around a bit. Yeah. But on this album, we had the opportunity to like write 40 tracks. Choose
40.
Yeah. There's a long list on the wall.
Wasn't it hard to choose then?
Well, yeah, but
it was hard. The thing that was hard was choosing like which one's the 10, because we could have made 3 different albums, really, couldn't we? Like with the amount of tunes that we had. I mean, when we started the process, because I'm always writing, so when we came off tour and then we were like, okay, well, I had like 40 songs written. I was ready with like 40 songs, and then we started making them Infadels and working them up, like, you know, with the band and with Matty and stuff, like getting the orchestration, and then it was like we had all these songs, didn't we? I think we whittled it down. First we whittled it down to 30, and then we were like, okay, these are all good, right? And then over time we were like, okay, let's go with these 20, and then when we actually went in to record the album, we had 15. So we just done.
So why didn't you put 15 on it?
Because we only like short albums. We're big fans. We think the best albums have only got 10, 11 tracks on them. Like, if you look at the history of long albums, it gets too much for a listener, we feel. And like, we think that, so we went in and recorded the 15 tracks, and then we kind of had to pick the 10. It was really hard picking which 10. But we wanted to make an album from start to finish that seemed good and flowed and stuff like that. And
so can we expect those songs from the 15 also in the live sets?
Yeah, we played one of those last night. There's a song called Black Days Away, which was from the 15, and we played that live last night. It was a B-side on it's going to be a B-side on the single and stuff like that. So, you know, like they're still Infidel songs, and they'll still be around. We'll still play them live. Yeah, it's a matter of kind of, we're in a weird transitional period where this record's not out yet, so we have to wait till this record's out so we can play all the stuff off this record and then all the B-sides, and, you know, it's a matter of the audience hearing it first so they can get to know it. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird. We could have just carried on. We could have, you know, the crime that is double albums, like, which we've worked this out many times.
You call it a crime.
There's no good double album that wouldn't have been better as one album. So we could have made a double album if we'd have been that way inclined, but we're not.
We were thinking of calling
a triple album.
A triple album. We could have done a triple.
Well, we were going to call it Use Your Illusion 3 and Use Your Illusion 4 after the Guns N' Roses ones.
Because everyone's still waiting for Guns N' Roses to do those, so we thought we'll just jump in and do them. Yeah.
Make more Use Your Illusion albums.
Yeah.
So I would say this album is more rock than dance, and the last album, the previous one, was more dance than rock. Do you agree?
Well, I think the differences on this album is that, like, we toured for 18 months, and I think we basically, the band, you can hear more of the band because we recorded it in 15 days or something, and we just played it live straight down. So I think you can hear more of the band and stuff like that. I think it's the same band, just it's slightly like a couple of years later, really. Like, to me, and you know, dance music's changed, so it's not the same kind of dance influence, but it's still well influenced by dance and electronica, and it's the same, you know, it's the same band, but like everything, you don't wear the same clothes you did 5 years ago. You know, you don't make exactly the same music. So I think that's the only difference, really, for us. You know.
So would you say it's more like a performance from the band covered on the CD rather than a studio album?
No, well, I think it's we made it in the thing that we wanted to make a great studio album that, like, a listener can listen to at home as well as being out, but also. The thing that's interesting about this one is because the band played live on it, you can almost hear us like in your front room, you know. But we actually, the songs and the whole thing are thought about like a listening experience, not just a kind of live experience, you know. But you can hear more of us, so it works out that way.
Okay. So, what are your plans? Are you going to do any festivals in the Netherlands?
Yeah, we're going to be doing Lowlands, aren't we?
Yep, Lowlands.
Yeah.
Great.
Don't know what other Dutch festivals. I mean, we've got like a few other like European festivals like nearby, like Pukkelpop in Belgium. And we're doing Rock am Ring and Rock im Park in Germany. And they're kind of we're at that stage now where like every day another email comes through of like, you're playing this one. And you're like, where is it? Oh, right there, cool. So yeah, we're gonna have a very busy summer, I think, on this album.
Are you guys a festival band?
Well, we're an everything band. Like we love little gigs like we did last night, and we love festivals, and we like it all really. Like, to be honest, we don't really categorise ourselves musically or performance wise. Like we like to just do everything. Don't really have a thing, but we do love a good festival.
No allergy to studio recordings?
No, not at all. We find studio really creative, like really, really creative, and it's a chance for us to express a different side. We're not one or the other, really, so we really enjoyed it in the studio. We found it like great, and when we're making our own demos and stuff, we're just experimenting all the time, and we find that equally as exciting. But it's just great to be, once you've done that, it's great to be on the road and in festivals or in gigs and just playing that, it's just really good fun, and it's what we live for, really. But we couldn't have one without the other. It's like asking you to choose an arm. It would be right, this one's the strumming hand, and this one like does that. Oh, I don't know, like, which one am I going to keep? Like you can't, so.
The album will be out in June. What date exactly?
Date exactly, don't know.
The date in Holland is June the 16th.
Oh, right.
Thanks, Richie.
He knows. Okay. Good old Richie. Yeah. Ask him another question, like.
It's only about release dates. That's the only thing I know in the world. Specifically the release date of the album.
When do we release our photographic calendar?
Yeah, that'd be one, wouldn't it?
Okay, thank you guys.
Oh no, thank you very much,
man. Oh, cheers, man.
Oh, cheers. Brilliant.